Hello, we're back. Happy Friday. If you're just joining us, this is our second attempt at our PBS birthday mini masterclass, and we were having some technical challenges. So we're coming back. I'm going to start by seeing if Lauren can finally join again. So hopefully it's working. But we wanted to take you. I see her joining. Yay!
Hi,
Hi!
we did it.
We did it. Technology, not quite our thing.
Literally every time.
Every time.
Instagram doesn't like us.
Yeah, I shouldn't say all technology. We got QuickBooks down, but other than that,
Right. Like,
Instagram, not so much.
yeah.
But we decided, cheers,
We
that
thought it
we
was
want,
very off brand for us to have a drink
yes,
during our video.
yes. So we're going to take you down the memory lane of PBS. Lauren's joining. She's our office manager. So if you've ever been a customer or you're going to be a customer in the future or you are our customer, you've had the pleasure of dealing with Lauren behind the scenes. And she's amazing. She's one of our biggest assets at the company, period. And you even have had an evolution of your role at PBS,
Yeah,
right? It's not
definitely.
just me. So
Definitely.
Lauren's been with us a total of three.
3. Coming up on 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you want to talk about that, I mean, it'd be great to hear from an entrepreneurial mindset of, having someone kind of climb with you and scale with you and grow with you in their roles.
Yeah. I definitely started off very small doing like just admin only stuff, like little customer touch points, scheduling, all of the things like that. And Tony, where do I get my birthday drink?
Oh, don't you test me because I'll pour you one and bring it back in, but then I can't give it
That
to
one
you.
for you. Oh my gosh.
I'll double test it for you. I'll take one for
Right?
the
Same. I'm with you. Um, Anywho, but yeah, I've definitely taken on more roles within PBS and specifically more of like the marketing side and helping with more of the behind the scenes thing with customers and yeah, that did wearing all the hats now behind the scenes.
So yes, I went from wearing literally every single hat known to
Yeah,
man to give them all to Lauren, and now I wear no hat. So I'm just kidding.
no, you wish we were there, I think,
Yeah,
but not quite.
I wish. Lauren,
That's
how many
okay.
hats can you wear? But we have gotten over the last several years and so many compliments on our social media from the accounting world, right? And any colleagues out there that are watching, it's been really awesome because I just go to conferences, I go to things, and people notice and like, oh my gosh, you guys are doing amazing. It's all Lauren's fault. It's right here. It's her fault. She does all of our social media for us, and it's funny because I'll get questions from people like, if you were on a call, how could you be posting blah 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 blah? And I'm like, because I'm not doing it.
You
So
should be like,
that's
I'm
what
just that good. I'm just that good.
yeah. In the background, I'm doing 55 things behind my back. But one of the reasons I needed to grow my team was because at a certain point, you literally cannot do everything on your own. And one of the growing pains that I had that I'm not alone in is going from sole proprietor, solopreneur into having a team managed company. And over the years, our team has grown and we've scaled back and it's grown again and we've scaled back. So I think it's great to remember if you're an entrepreneur that you are going to have days where you're just like, I can't do this anymore. I need some help. And it's very common in business to want to hold on to everything and to want to not let go and not delegate. Or you have this experience where you delegate and somebody else messes it up for you, and you're thinking, God, if I had just done it, I wouldn't be having this problem. But
We've
that's
never
all
been
part
there. That's
we
never happened to us, though.
Oh, never has that happened at PBS. Ever once.
We wish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've had some experiences, but I think it's actually really good. One of the things I didn't do for a really long time that I wish I would have done sooner is find community, both entrepreneurially, but also in the industry. And the part of the reason I didn't is because I literally was on an island, not even an island. It was a
Okay.
mountain. It is a mountain.
Mountaintop.
I came, my business started in a mountain of 3,000 people. I'm a
Yeah.
little mountain town. I'm a little mountain girl. I had no dreams beyond, paying my bills. And that was it, literally. And also getting out of corporate America was a goal. I didn't realize that as soon as I did it, when I took the leap, it was gonna go, right? Which is great. I didn't know, I didn't realize, but I also never thought past that particular goal. Never. When I started my business, did I have like the 3-year plan, the 5-year plan, the 10-year plan? It was more just, I don't want to be in a building all day. Like,
Yeah.
stop. I want to be home more. I want to be able to be remote. I want to be able to work from wherever I'm at so that I can travel and do things and have a life. I want to be able to like take a Wednesday and go to the grocery store instead of waiting till Saturday when every other person on the planet is there. Those were the types of goals that I
Yeah.
had when I started PBS. Um,
Definitely. That's a great
but
place to jump in about like how it did start. So obviously you wanted that personal freedom, but I mean, there's a million different paths you could have taken to do that. You could have, done X, Y, and Z, but we chose, bookkeeping and accounting. So where did that come from?
um, I'm glad you asked. Sorry. I've only had like a sip, but I feel like I'm in that mode. Like it's Friday, and yeah.
Probably need to eat
So
dinner.
yeah, yes. So I was working in banking and lending for years. I worked first for Citibank, and then for another bank after that. And all throughout that experience, I was working with businesses. And when I would have my business owner sit down at my desk and they needed a loan, a credit card, a mortgage, a vehicle, whatever they needed, I would have to get their financials from them. And I would definitely say at least 80% of the time, I'm probably lowballing that. They were like, what do you
What,
mean? What is
what's that?
financial? You mean like my spreadsheet with all my expenses on it? No, I mean your profit and loss, your balance sheet, really your balance sheet in particular. They were like, what's a balance sheet? Anyway, these are business owners that have successful businesses that needed lending, that needed help. And they had no idea what I was talking about or how to produce it or if it was right. When I would ask them questions like, okay, this line on the balance sheet is wrong or negative or off or large or whatever I was asking them, can you explain that to me? They were like, oh, no,
No.
I don't know.
Right.
No, the answer was either, someone else does that, or I'm not sure, or like, they just were so clueless a lot of the time.
Mhm.
I started going to their places of work as a favor on my lunch breaks, after work, before work, on the weekends. I would offer, do you want some help? Can I help you like figure this out? And it started out really like individual one-on-one cases. And the more I did it, the more was like realizing, wow, this is like, they would have these epiphanies like, oh my gosh, like no one's ever showed us this before. No, I've never known this before. I didn't even know this was a thing. They didn't even know if they had a software to do it. They were sometimes really just still using Excel spreadsheets or just actually using
Yeah.
receipts in a pile,
The box
in a desk.
of receipts, the old box of receipts.
I just hand my tax guy this at the end of the year and he makes it happen. And I'm like,
I feel bad for that guy.
you're literally giving me hives, but okay. But these were successful business owners in that they'd been in business maybe even 10 years.
Right.
They had employees, they had money in the bank, they were able like to be afloat. They weren't drowning people that were like, oh my gosh, I'm failing because I don't have my numbers. So somehow they were able to make it even without this. But in the process of me showing them, doing it for them, helping them produce the information I needed to then get them their loan, their line of credit, their cars, whatever, I realized like, wow, I really enjoy this so much more than what I'm doing at my day job. Like my day job is literally putting numbers in a computer and somebody else is doing behind the scenes underwriting, etc. So that those relationships started to blossom. They asked me, "Can you keep doing this? Can you keep coming back? Can we hire you to
Yeah.
do our books?" Like over time it just became that instead of me just talking to them about their loans. and I loved it. And then I was in banking for a very long time. Like I said, 8 years, and I started getting kind of burnt out on the corporate America side of things. The constant, what have you done for me lately? The constant, like, not being able to be on vacation or missing family functions because I wasn't seniority enough to take the day off, or just the getting up and getting ready and getting out the door and then not getting home until 7 o'clock at night
Oh
every
boy.
day. And then
Yeah.
I was driving up a mountain and ice and rain and all the things compiled to where I'm like, I really just don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
So I took one or two clients. It did come to me that there was a person in town that was doing bookkeeping and she was moving away. And she brought a client to me and said, Hey, I know you want to do this, because I had had conversations with my colleagues about it. I know you want to do this. I can't take this on. It's too big for me. Could you help them? And I was like, yes, sign me up. So for 2 years, I worked with three clients during having a job. So again, it was the before, during, and after work, or lunch break and after work
Right.
weekend situation. And then I rolled the dice in July of 2015. I handed in my 30-day notice. I gave them 30 days because I knew, I was like, oh, this is going to be hard. Gave them my 30-day notice and I jumped off the cliff. And I told myself, okay, you're probably going to really struggle for a while, but this is, the end goal is going to be worth it. Literally in 2 weeks' time, I had completely replaced my income, my corporate income, and then some, just by picking up the phone to every single person who had said, when you have time, I need your help. When you have time, I need your help. Because I was turning people away because I didn't have the time. I was already doing like maximum capacity. And that's all it took. It's history ever since that moment in time.
Right. Yeah. Such a difference of where we are now compared to going to people's houses and sitting in someone's kitchen going through their mail. As, I have so many stories you've told me over the years, but obviously we don't do that anymore.
We don't. So in the beginning, I did the thing I think most entrepreneurs did do, and I said yes to everyone and everything and every scope, and I never said no. I didn't want to ever have anybody think that I wasn't willing to help them.
Yeah.
So I was literally a paid babysitter several times because they would want me to sit there and watch them open their
Yeah.
mail, because they needed an accountability partner, if nothing else. And then of course I had the task of like going through their statements, or
Right.
like, I'll get that because I actually need that
This
from
is
you.
what
I
I
haven't
need.
gotten
This
it
is the
from
one
you.
you can throw away. Yeah.
So I was very physically on site when I started, and that is how accounting actually normally works. I think until COVID, literally, that's how only most of
Yeah.
counting worked. And so yeah, I don't do that anymore. We are far too widespread, which is a wonderful problem to have. Although we don't charge nearly enough for me to fly from place to place to place to place.
Can you imagine?
No, I can't imagine. It would be like, okay, I'll be right there. I'll just get a hop 3,000 miles away. But
Right. Unless you have a private jet for me, I don't think I'll be doing that. Sorry.
can we open your private jet?
Yeah, right.
I'll be there promptly. I don't
Not
know if that what
quite
the
our
accent was, but
not quite our speed.
that's a great segue into how we
Remote.
to where we
Yeah.
are, right?
Yeah, definitely. And I will say, just even saying yes to everybody for so long lasted for so long.
You're sweet because I know what you're doing. Yeah. Yeah. You want me
University
to
a
talk
little bit.
about how you can't really do that? And you can't. As an entrepreneur, you cannot say yes to everybody. One of the mistakes I made, and I've made so many, you guys, I am going to probably write a book about it because I feel like it can help a lot of people avoid some really hard times that I had because of the mistakes I made. One of my mistakes was not sticking to a scope not having boundaries with, I shouldn't say one, several of the mistakes, not having boundaries and or sticking to those boundaries, not having clearly defined expectations of what I would do, what they would do, where the line was drawn, what they were actually paying me to do versus what they thought they were paying me to do.
Yeah.
Um, that that caused a lot of hard times for me because I was my own bottleneck, and I also couldn't do it all, but I refused to say no for so long that it ended up making it worse than it had to be for myself and my customers, and I have lost some really great customers over the years simply because I was just maxed out. There's no way one person can do everything: the marketing,
Yeah.
the admin, the customer service, the actual work, the meetings with the clients, and it's a very hard challenge, but it's a very steep road to
Yeah.
get to where you can. Then you got to bring people in. You've got to train them. You've got to
Hire the right
trust
people.
that you hire the right people. Hire people who actually want to
Right.
work. Um, yeah, we've had every challenge you can known to man in the hiring area as well. But at the end of the day, as a business owner, it all lands on your shoulders. It's all back on you. It's all your fault. No matter what reality is, your customer is going to see it as your fault if it's your business.
Yeah.
And that is just the way it works. So I had to learn those lessons the really hard way because I didn't have mentors. This goes back to what I started to say. I didn't put myself in the room with mentors. I didn't have people around me that had done what I was doing for me to lean on and ask their advice. I wasn't in masterminds. I wasn't, in any kind of groups. I would have done that years before I did it had I known what it would have taught me, saved me, and helped me through. And what if I would have avoided so many things that were very painful learning experiences if I had done that. So I guess I'm going to offer that. If you are doing any kind of business owner, get a mastermind, get a mentor, be in groups, go to any kind of uh, industry wide help that you can get because you will save yourself so much grief.
Yeah. Learn from someone who has already done it and made the mistakes, and so you don't have to. Yeah.
On the one hand, all those mistakes were learning
Yeah. Of
experiences that are
course.
going to serve as really great tools for me in the future and allow me to now help others avoid them because I can say, "Oh, I know about this. You don't want to do that."
Yeah.
Um, which helps
Definitely.
me every day with our customers because our customers are all business owners too. And I've seen things that they haven't seen yet in my experience and in other people's experiences. So I can offer that support to them, which is important because nobody could offer it to me when I was doing
Yeah.
it,
You
growing
have
them.
that wisdom now. We can give you more than just financial advice.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Listen to Mama Sam.
Mother Auntie Sam.
She will help you.
Yeah. So obviously, like, mistakes have been made, but we've also had a lot of really amazing times over the years. So maybe we can like touch on a couple of the highs and lows of the
Yeah.
entrepreneurial journey.
Yes. So one of the highest high I think I've ever had yet in my professional career was being accepted to the Intuit Accountant Council.
Yeah.
And this was a dream I didn't even know that I could dream or have any concept when I started PBS. We should talk about what PBS means,
Yeah.
actually. So
Oh
remember,
yeah.
yeah,
We'll look back to that.
back to that. Yeah, I think it's important for people to know. So when I started this, like I said, mountain town, 3,000 people, I just wanted like more freedom of schedule. And I really enjoyed doing the bookkeeping and the helping of the people more than what I was doing. But I had no idea the world that was out there that I was about to embark on in the accounting industry, right? So I've always been a teacher from the time I think I was 10 or 11 when I started
Teaching the
teaching
little
dance
babies. Yeah.
to my little babies. And I love teaching. And I also, helped raise my siblings, and I was seen as sort of like a teaching mentor
Yeah.
figure for that. And it's just always come natural to me. So over the years, I have been helping clients and teaching clients a lot. And eventually in 2021, started a consulting firm altogether around teaching. But colleagues of mine that have watched me over the years actually reached out to Intuit and said, Sam should be on council. She's got this thing. She's great at what she does. I remember getting the phone call. I was on the 215 freeway, stuck in traffic, and I got a phone call from one of my colleagues, and she's like, I just referred you to the Intuit Accounting Council. I think you're perfect. I want you to know you need to go apply. Go apply.
Oh,
She was like, you're doing this. I know you can do
yeah.
this. What does that even mean, accountant count? And so, and this is a thing, I didn't even know it was a thing. So basically, it's a council of accountants from across the entire country. They only ever have 20 accountants in this group out of every accountant on the entire country that represent both the end user and the accounting users and sit on council with the engineers and the developers of the product and everybody inside of Intuit who isn't anybody. And we talk and we collaborate and we say what sucks and we say what works great and we say what's needed and we don't even have yet, and we talk about the future vision of the product. We're in a room for 10 hours a day for 4 days doing nothing but creating the future of
Yeah,
QuickBooks.
that's so cool.
I know. And she's like, and I'm like, what? You know, because I didn't even think anyway. I applied, I was accepted, and I'm the 2021 to 2023 alumni of the Accountant Council. And to this day, I think that is my number one high in this business, simply because, like, what? Like, me?
Yeah.
Leveled me from a mountain? Like, what? You know, I didn't even know I could possibly, yeah, little old Sam. I didn't know it was even a dream I could have.
Yeah.
But what it's done is launched me and fueled me into this world of being recognized in the accounting industry. And I've gotten some really amazing, amazing opportunities from it. In fact, I haven't even announced it yet, but
No,
this
we
is a
haven't.
great way to do it. I was selected this year for the first time to be a speaker at QuickBooks Connect. Actually, I'm sorry, it's now Intuit Connect. For the first time, it's a 5-year try, and this is like my "Don't give up on your dreams" speech, because I've been trying for 5 years to be involved in the QuickBooks annual conference for accounting, and I did it, and I finally got it this year. So I genuinely feel like it's all this stuff that I'm constantly doing inside of the accounting industry that's led me to be able to even have that opportunity.
Yeah.
So that's the high. My low is going to be, I've had several customers over the last 10 years, no, 9 years, that have really, basically crushed my soul.
Well,
Sorry, there's like no other way to say it. Thank you,
yeah.
Tony. Um, and it was a hard learning experience because I personally, and I can only speak for me on this, I personally am one of those people that I take my business and my job so personally.
Yeah.
And you hear people say all the time, business is business, it's not personal. Well, mine is personal to me. And when I have a customer who I genuinely adore and love and have worked my freaking off, right? For, and never said no to, and did above and beyond, and it was that person that was like in their court and wanted them to survive and see them thrive, and worked like I know I worked, to have them kind of turn on you and to have them all of a sudden hate you almost, like it feels like that.
Yeah.
It is really hard. It's been devastating a few times, and I know there was lessons in it, and I did learn from each of those experiences, but it was never something I was prepared for ever in my journey of being a business owner. Um, when you're a service provider, it's really different than like someone goes on and buys your product, and like if they hate the product, oh well, like you didn't
Yeah.
even make it. You had a
Not
manufacturer
the
made
other.
it, bought it from somebody else, or whoops, okay. But when your heart and your 14-hour days and your knowledge and you go to conferences to learn how to be better for them. You get education to learn how to be better for them. You bring new ideas to the table to help them. And when they just kind of snap on you and flip on you, and they don't really remember that you're like an actual human being as
Right.
well.
Yeah.
You're a business owner the same as they're a business owner, so you might be having some of the same challenges that they're actually having in their business.
Mhm.
When they don't remember that and they come back at you or they give you a horrible review for absolutely no reason,
Yeah.
things like that, they hurt. They really hurt. And I had to kind of really learn how to do a boundary situation because I had none. And I considered every single client my friend. At the end of the day, they're not your friends. They are paying you to do a service. And the second that they decide you're not doing what you're supposed to do, they're like, it flips. I get it because I'm also a consumer. I'm not just a business owner. I'm a consumer. And I've been the one on the other end that has been like, what the hell? Like this was going
Right.
so great. But I also know me, and I also know that I've gone to them and I've said, hey, I'm either having this challenge or that challenge, or I didn't know, or actually you don't pay me to do that. So it's not really my fault that it happened because I wasn't in charge of it,
Right.
right? I just assumed that it was, or that it should be, or that I should have done it for them because I'm, supposed to be looking out, whatever the cases are. There's been several. But those have been my lows, is when people I genuinely adored and worked so, so hard for flipped on me. And
Yeah.
sometimes it felt like there was no reason, and other times I'm like, well, I get it. I do get it. It sucks that they didn't give me an opportunity to correct it, but I get it. It's been on
Mhm.
both sides of that coin, but
Yeah.
it wasn't something that I was prepared for. It's not anything anyone talks about. It's not a reality you ever think is going to happen to you. Like proactively, you're going to be like, someday someone's going to hate me, and I'm ready for it.
Oh, I know. It's hard. It hurts, and it's hard not to take that like personally and take it to heart. I don't even interact with clients as much as you do, and sometimes I'll read an email and be thinking about it late at night, like, oh, that just irked me. Like,
Yeah. Like,
it's,
really?
yeah, right.
That's how you're going to talk to someone? Like, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So, so I think that's actually a great segue into why we rebranded eventually.
Yeah.
So PBS did eventually originally stand for Pampered by Sam because it was just Sam and Sam alone for many moons. And then as our team started to grow, it wasn't just Sam anymore. And customers would actually ask, who's Sam? Because they'd be dealing with, another one of our team members. And they would say,
Right.
oh, you make your check payable to Pampered by Sam. Like, who the hell is Sam? I don't even know who
Yeah.
Sam is. So I decided, we need to rebrand. We need to get Sam out of it because it's not about Sam anymore. It's about the whole team, the whole vision, the whole effort on the customer's behalf. And so we switched to people business service. It is our basically our mission statement. It's what we do. We are humans first. We are people first, and so are our customers. We have a business next, and so do our customers, and we are providing a service last, and so are our customers. So we really take a human first approach to everything, and we have a zero tolerance policy with people who want to be rude and people who don't respect us as humans and don't respect our time or whatever the cases are. We've just learned to set those boundaries and decide who we want to work with. And we want to work with really great people first. We don't care
Yes.
what your business is. We don't care how much money you make. We don't care what kind of bill you're going to get, charge we're going to get from you. You have to be a good person or we're just done immediately. And then the service part is last. Like we are all businesses. We are all struggling through learning the things. We are all growing and scaling and have goals and want to provide to our customers the best we can. And we are all, then providing you the service of accounting and coaching last. So
Yeah.
that's how that happened.
Yeah, I love that we rebranded and changed it up a little bit. And
Yeah.
it feels more us now, and nobody's asking us if we're, a
Salon.
spa or a massage. Pampered by Sam. Can I get my nails done there?
Yeah. I've gotten some really interesting questions over the years
I'm
about what
sure
I
you
do with
have. What kind of pampering do you do?
pampering. Do you do exactly? Well, um, I pamper your business and
Yeah.
I give you all the support and behind the scenes. And we were Pampered by Sam Mobile Office Solutions was actually our first name, full name, registered name, because I
Of
was
course.
mobily going to into every single person's office and
Yeah.
basically taking those tasks off their plate physically.
Mhm.
Now I do that same thing remotely.
Yeah.
So, and with a team.
Yes, thankfully.
Thank
So we've obviously changed a lot over the years. What's we've met a lot of other firm owners, and a lot of other firm owners now are doing things remote. You know, we go to conference and we meet people. Oh yeah, we're remote. Everybody's remote now. What do you think those sets us apart from those other firms? Like, how are we different? Obviously, we have that people first approach, but what else would you say we're doing differently?
I have learned by talking to these business owners, these other accounting firm owners over and over again, and listening to their way of doing business and listening to what they do for their clients. And I have learned that we go so far over and above for our customers compared to, I would say, what an industry standard is. In fact, I've actually had other accounting firm owners tell me, you're making it look too easy.
Oh,
And this is
you're
should
doing
not
too
be.
much.
You're doing too much. I have had at this conversation, it is not a joke. You are doing way too much. You make it look like we should all be doing this, and that is not what we do. And I was like, oh my God, I'm sorry that I'm doing more for my customers. It was
Right.
one of those, it gives you pause, like, whoa, what's the attitude about? And the attitude is about it sets a standard, and then people, when they go to these other firms, expect the same standard of care and everything, and it just doesn't happen. I guess as an industry standard, I'm going to say that it's a broad statement, but it is exactly what I have discovered. Now, we do have a small client base on purpose
Yeah.
because of the fact that we want to provide service in a certain way. We want to take a certain approach. We want to do work in a certain style,
Mhm.
which is very hands-on, very looking out for compliance at all times, very like proactively m- making sure our clients are taken care of on the whole,
Yeah.
not just okay, we did your bookkeeping this month, and it's all reactive instead of proactive. And that is our choice of a
Right.
business. That though does mean we have to keep our client base smaller because you can't do that in masses. So these firms that have 300, 500, 1,000 clients, it's just not possible unless they had a team of like 500 to do that kind of work.
Yeah.
And so I understand why they have more of a quantity over quality look at it. And not that their work isn't quality, but it's the touchiness of it and the hand holding of it. And that's actually one of the reasons that I separated my consulting and my training, because I was really blurring the line eventually with, are you a trainer? Are
Right.
you a consultant? Do you do the bookkeeping? And the answer was yes, yes, and yes. But I really found that I needed to start separating, like, this company does this function and this company does that function, to help people understand what we really did, because it was a little blurred. So that's what sets us apart.
Yeah.
I think we really, really get in there. We care. We look out for the
Right.
whole of your business, and we want to take everything we can off your plate. We're not just like, okay, here's your financials because we data entered
Right.
your your stuff. We're like, let's talk through it. Let's plan against it. Let's make some changes. We take it all on. So I can say that's I think what sets us apart for sure.
Yeah, we're definitely focused on helping them grow their businesses and take as much. Oh, where are you going?
And you get us, and we're cool.
Oh, I see. Are we doing spinnies and twirlies?
You can
Sam
see my
is a former ballerina, so sometimes we have to do twirlies
hand.
in the office.
Instead of saying good luck, I
We do
say do your twirlies.
twirlies, yes. But Yeah, it's just not every firm is going to offer that type of service where that's what their goal is. Instead of just here are your numbers, here's what you can do with them, we really want to focus on helping our clients grow their businesses and, do more of what they love. And that's just,
Mhm.
yeah, that's what we do.
Helping you do more of what you love. That's
Yeah.
exactly right. That's what we do.
So how does the future of PBS look with all of that in mind?
With all that in mind, I want to keep that same trajectory. But like I just said, it is hard to scale when you have that kind of high
Yeah.
touch, right? So my goal would probably be to eventually merge with another firm where we have more capacity, we have more support. It's really hard. We have discovered
Yeah.
it's really hard to hire individuals who are as dedicated to your mission as you
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
It's not their business. And this is same with every, I think, industry out there, but it's not their
Yeah.
business. So they're just there to collect their paycheck and go home, or if they're working from home, because all of our employees do, they're,
Close their computer.
close their computer, go make dinner. It's
Yeah.
5 o'clock, they're done. So I feel in order to continue to support our on the level that we are, we're going to need another like-minded, maybe firm to collaborate with where we have that support collaboratively and we can offer more services, more time, we have more capacity without worrying about like one person holding up the show or one individual being the reason why we're having a stumbling block. Again, I'm only one person, so at the end of the day there's only so much I can physically do. In order to keep providing more service, I've got to bring in more teams. So I think just growing the team, collaborating, finding we're really big on using our strategic partners,
Yes.
which is us finding people who are the best at what they do in their field and exposing our customers to them because we don't do everything. We can't do everything. I don't know everything, but I know someone who knows everything.
Yeah.
At
Yeah.
this point in time, I have an alliance for everything out there that's financial, including, benefits and investments and all kinds of programs and everything. So that's what I want to do. I want to give my customers more by utilizing those others around me that have the strength and the knowledge in those areas and really just full service being able to provide as much value to everyone as we can.
Yeah, definitely. We have to continue to grow so we can help them grow, and that's all a little cycle. Yeah,
That
I
is
think
right.
it's going to be great. I'm very excited to see where we go as we continue on. And
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah.
all
Me
right,
too. Me too. I'm excited. And again, like I said a little earlier, this isn't even a dream I knew to dream. It
right.
really was. I was just on a mountaintop, 3,000 people. I was just one of those 3,000 people. And I love the message here that it doesn't matter where you're from. It doesn't matter what you did. It doesn't matter if you were given, family heirloom money or education or anything. If you went to Harvard, if you have a goal, you can literally work your way to that goal and beyond it. My goal was never to be where I am right now, and I somehow got here only by working my freaking butt off.
And then some.
Nobody handed me jack, right? I didn't have mentors. I had to learn everything the hard way, but I kind of am glad I did because now I can give back in a way that I wouldn't have been able to had I just been like given the magic
Yeah,
wand, right?
yeah,
But I'm going to also say that having a team in place it is literally priceless because I probably would have died of a heart attack, stroke,
yeah,
a long time ago if I had not started to delegate, or my business would have folded and failed because I was dropping too many balls, or I mean, who
yeah,
knows? Or it would have just stayed plateaued at a single level where I would have
yeah,
never been able to have and do some of the things that I have done.
yeah.
So
No, I know
having a
for
team
sure.
in place is like the key, the key.
I know one of our biggest growth factors came when you and one of our former account managers sat down and really looked at numbers and said, oh my God, we are charging next to nothing. We can't continue doing this. And that really propelled us into, where we are now. And that
Yeah,
probably wouldn't have happened or would have taken so much longer to happen if she and if you and her didn't do that. So that was huge.
I'm so glad you said that because it took someone
Yeah.
else sitting me down saying, Sam,
Yeah.
we have to do something about this. This is ridiculous. Like, and it's true because I didn't raise my prices, I don't think, for the first maybe 5 or 6 years that I was doing this. And I was charging significantly lower than like literally everybody else in the industry.
Yeah.
I actually had another colleague of mine yell at me and said, I'll never give you another client if that's what you're going to charge. This is ridiculous.
That's funny.
He said that to me. But learning. Uh, and my mistake in that was I wanted everybody to say yes in the beginning because I was so nervous of leaving my job, my secure job. I was like, I got to charge enough where everybody will say yes to me. And they did, which
Right.
was the problem.
Yeah.
I could do a whole mini masterclass on just that,
Uh-huh.
really. Um, so I had to learn like, okay, you're probably gonna lose some people, and it's just one of those hard things with business, and you've got to make good business choices for the business, not personal attacks on people. I can see their numbers. I know they can't afford this. I'm going to have to tell them, I know you can't afford this, but this is what we have to charge now. In order to support me having this team, having the overhead, having the training that I have to have, doing the things that I have to do to keep this business open for you to get the results you need, it costs XYZ. And that's every business.
Of course.
Imagine like the owner of Burger King, you know, charging 25 cents for a burger
Right.
to keep his prices instead of $7 because he can, because that's, whatever. It doesn't happen like that. You can't do it. It's not sustainable. So yeah, it took someone else because I was so worried about the customers and the customer work, and I was trying to grow the customers that I wasn't actually working on my own business, which is what my role should have been way before it was. And it took another, thank goodness, someone who
Yeah.
cared and to say to me, we got to do something about this.
Yeah. Yeah. We were literally losing money on clients and it just,
Lose.
yeah, wasn't sustainable.
No, and guess who doesn't get paid as a business owner when you don't make money?
Right.
It's just the business owner.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody else gets their paychecks. All your vendors get paid. All your customer work is done, and you don't get a paycheck. So I had to fight that battle, and I put myself in that place, and then I had to get myself out of that place. So it's another lesson for our business owners out there
Yeah.
that I can definitely speak to is that the only person that suffers when you don't do what you need to do for the business is you.
Yeah.
It's not your
Definitely.
customers. It could be your customers if you can't provide the level of service or the better products or whatever. It could also affect them for sure.
Oh yeah, 100%. It's not good for anybody all the way around.
Right.
But
And
obviously that was a little bit of a low, not charging what we should have been charging and not help. I believe we had a customer at one point tell us that we needed to charge more. Isn't that correct? Yeah. And when does that happen? The client is saying, charge me more.
one of my very first clients ever, and also another one that was a very good client for a very long time until she retired and closed her business only because she was retiring, said, Girl,
What do you?
you need to charge more. This is
Yeah.
ridiculous. They, they said the amount of time that you spend and you take is worth so much more than you're charging. And oh my God, exactly. Who says that
Right.
to someone? And I've actually since had that conversation with other professionals, not even accounting professionals, but just business owners I'm doing business with, which I'm telling them to charge me more because I appreciated that so much and I recognize that they're doing what I was doing. I have said the same thing to a few people, like, you really need to charge more now. You deserve it. You've been working so long, so hard, the education, all of it. I mean, I think another point to make is that when someone buys something from you, whether it's a service or a product, they're just not buying that thing.
Right.
They're buying your knowledge, your education, your time, your investment into them. They're buying your time away from your family so that you can be working for them. They're buying so much more, or paying for, I should say, so much more than just a report at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And when I changed my mindset to that and I realized, oh, you know what? Yeah, they're coming to me because they need help and I can help them. And the return on the investment for them is that they are preventing a giant problem in the future. They're getting out of a giant problem they're in right now. They're saving on so many areas because someone's looking out after them to give them what they don't even know they don't know yet.
Yeah.
And it just saves. I mean, if I had had that when I was started, I could have saved tens of thousands of dollars and so much angst and grief in my life, which to me is priceless. Like the lack of stress in my life would have been priceless to me. There,
Yeah.
you couldn't have put a dollar amount that it was worth.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, definitely. Peace is worth so much. Yeah.
Oh yes. And that's why we only want to work with good people. We
Yeah.
don't need you stressing us out. I mean, accounting itself and the act of working with people's money itself is stressful. There's
Yeah.
deadlines, there's federal regulations around it. There's all these things you have to know and do, and
Just the
deadlines,
pressure.
and the stress is a big reason why a lot of people are leaving the industry because they're freaking tired of it. But you add them being a crappy person on top of it. No, thank you.
No. No, we don't need any more of those in our lives.
And scene. We're done with that.
We are done. And it feels so good to get that client once we raised our prices and we started offering a higher level of service, and we started working with clients that really want to work with us and
Yes.
said yes to, these are our stipulations, this is what we're going to charge you, and they said, oh yeah, that's worth it. That must feel amazing as an entrepreneur to think, wow, somebody thinks that we're worth that. And like as that continues and grows, you really get into that mindset of we are worth that. We do offer a service that is worth that price or whatever we're asking of them.
Yeah.
So that must
And
be great.
it is. It's wonderful. And I was the bottleneck to that because I was so afraid to like charge too much and get people to say no. And honestly, now when people say no to me, my only reaction is, we will be here when you need us.
Yes. Yeah. I
Because
love typing that in an email. Okay, we'll be here when you're ready.
because it's not no to me. It's
Yeah.
just no for right now, or no to, okay, maybe the price, but I know when they're ready and they value what we do and they understand that what we do for them is going to help them, it's going to be a beautiful relationship. And I also can't discount what it takes to run the business any longer. I couldn't continue to make that choice. I had to at least cover the cost of running the business. And yeah, so now I don't even take it personally. It's not a bad thing. It's not like oh, dang it, someone said no, because in the beginning it was like a terrifying thing to me that someone might tell me no. And now I'm not scared of it at all. At all. It doesn't,
Right.
honestly, I feel like when they say no, I'm like, okay, great, no problem. I don't know anyone else right now that can help you for less than this, but I want to be the one you pick when you're ready. I
Yeah.
do. I want to, let's revisit this. And I've had lots of people come back. They left because they got a cheaper price somewhere else that they paid for, and they've
Yeah.
come back and said, can we do another round two? And I'm like, yeah, come on down.
We
No
need to
problem.
clean up now. We made a mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Yes,
okay. They had to learn their lessons too. Everybody does.
exactly. And I'm never going to say to somebody, you're going to get what you pay for, because
No.
that's rude. But it's the truth. And I know personally, like, the level of work we do from when we started to the level of work we do now is wildly different. And maybe
Yeah.
those other are still starting out, and that's why they're in that level, and that's great. They deserve a shot too.
Yeah, definitely. We'll be here when they're ready.
Okay, we will.
Yeah, for sure. All right,
Yes.
so fun little question just to end on, because I'm sure your favorite part of this job is not actually, you know, doing the job itself, doing the accounting work.
Yeah.
I don't know whose favorite. I'm sure there's somebody, but I don't know whose favorite part of the job that is. So, what
Yeah.
is your favorite part?
Okay, so my actual favorite part, and you're right, my favorite part is not the actual like entering of
Yeah,
data. It is genuinely helping someone go from not understanding anything about their numbers, their business, what is going on behind the scenes, how they can do what how they can get from now to where they want to be, and just going from like I don't have a clue from what's going on to oh my god, I get it. I
yeah,
totally get it. And leading them down a path, making the updates, making the changes, knowing who to bring in for them to get them the help they need, and then seeing that evolution that they go from nothing, like not having any understanding or being so freaking overwhelmed by it, or like actually also being like indifferent because it just doesn't even make sense. So they're like, I don't even care. Because once they start caring and they see the numbers and they see what the stories that their numbers tell them are, and they understand, oh, I could hire and I could do this and I could do a marketing campaign and I could figure out this. And when they start having these epiphanies, all because they just started focusing on their numbers or understanding their numbers, that's my favorite part.
yeah. We love to celebrate our client wins for sure. It feels really good to see them get to a place where, they needed to get to and know that we were a part of that.
We recently had a customer that was one of my original top three, my original threes that I was talking about. She hasn't been our customer since 22, I think.
Mhm.
22, she sold her business and retired. And she reached back out. She just recently reached out on Facebook, like randomly out of the blue, and was like, I'm so thankful to know you. You've made such a big impact
Yeah.
on our business. I can't even imagine being able to retire had I not been working with you for
Wow.
so. She was my customer for I think five or 6 years,
Yeah.
maybe longer, maybe 8 or 9 actually. Um, and she just went on this little Facebook rant about how great it was to have us basically as part of her business because it helped her get to her end goal, which was being able to retire. And I was just like, oh my God, that's so sweet. And we hadn't been communicating at all before she just sent this message. So it's still impacting her enough that she felt like she could reach out and say something, which is
Yeah.
genuinely like that makes everything worth it to me. To have to
Um,
know I impacted just one person even like that,
yeah.
and helped them,
I
that's huge to me.
Yeah, I think that really speaks to how you build relationships with the clients, because even though we've worked really hard to set the boundaries and have these professional relationships, we also still really care about the people that we're working with. And I've seen you do over the years things that, like, you'll tell me, can we send flowers to this person? Their pet just passed away or a loved one passed away, or they're celebrating this, they got married or had a baby or whatever it might be. Let's send them flowers. Let's send them this. And I don't know that that's something that a lot of other businesses are doing. So I guess just kudos to you. That's so cool that
Yeah.
you even like care and think to do that for our clients. And that is
Yeah.
what builds that long-term relationship where they keep thinking about us and coming back and really appreciate not just the business, but the personal relationship.
Yeah, because they're people first.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing is they're human beings first. And yeah, they're paying for service and yeah, they're business owners, but at the end of the day, they're a human being. And I know I so appreciate it when anybody does anything like that for me or over the years that who has that I just want to give that to them. And also it's part of why I work so hard because if you can, you should. And that's my theory. And so part of working so hard and creating what we've created is so that we can give
Yeah.
back. We can give more to our team, more to our clients that may have absolutely nothing to do with accounting at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's the little extras that matter the most. Those little thoughtful things.
Yeah. Yeah. So there we go. That's down memory lane
That's the
and where we're
PBS
going.
story.
Story, and we are thrilled to have every one of our clients, and we do have some that have been there from day one still, which is
Yeah.
amazing. Amazing. I have done
Yeah.
some polling over the years, and I think I don't know maybe one single firm that has any clients left from when they started that has been open as long
Almost
as
a
we.
decade. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
So it's really,
Very
really
cool.
amazing for us, and we look forward to where everything is going and the future of PBS, and getting to know even more of you out on the road, and seeing what we can do to help you.
Very exciting things.
Anyway, thanks for tuning in to Mini Masterclass
Thank you.
Thursday on a Friday, and we will see you again in 2 weeks. Do we have a topic? Do you
Oh,
know?
I don't know.
I,
We'll let you know.
we'll let you know.
Sign
Yes,
up for our newsletter. You'll be the first to hear about it.
that's right. Thanks everyone for joining. We will see you
Okay.
soon. Have a great weekend.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.